Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So last time, I finally figured out what was bothering me about her chest area, and I think I fixed it, because I looked at it today, and I think it still looks okay. I'm not convinced the proportions are entirely correct, but in terms of placement, I am satisfied. So tablets being silly. Okay, there we go. But yes, I am happy because, man, I have been struggling with that thing for so long, and it was just a mess for the longest time. So now I actually feel like I can make progress again, and I can get rid of all the weird guidelines and stuff that I was plopping down to try to figure out what was wrong. Let's do that, and I guess just for a reference for people interested in what trips me up sometimes is I just had the whole thing leaning the wrong direction. For some reason, I thought that her body was going this way. But no, it's going this way. Going the exact opposite direction. And once I aligned things so this way, it was going this way again. Everything worked out. If something just looks wrong and no matter how much you tweak it, it just does not look good, chances are you just have a structural problem and you gotta revisit how things are tilted and whatnot. And when it comes to things that just look wrong for no reason, personally, I think that, or not for no reason, but no matter how hard you try, I have found, in my experience, that what causes that is not like proportion or anatomy issues. It is literally you have an angle wrong somewhere, and once you fix that, it'll just kind of work out. I think that the angles are more important. And just to clarify what I mean by angles here, it's like if you look at the angle between these two eyes, they kind of sit on a line. And if I put one eye lower or one eye higher, it would look weird. But because I have the angle across her face, very consistent, it's roughly the same all the way through it, it looks right. And so here I have the angle of the shoulders here, and so anything that goes this direction, I try to keep on the same angle. And her hips are kind of more straight down. You don't really see anything there, because her dress is kind of fanning out backwards there, so... But if it was... If you were able to see it, the angles would be much flatter. And so just keep that consistent there, and that will go a long way. Personally, I don't even think that anatomy is a beginner subject. Proportions to an extent, yes. But I mean... My proportions here are not realistic at all. Her head is quite large. Her eyes, massive, because, you know, anime girls have huge eyes. And just all of that. But speaking of proportion, I did want to increase the size of her body just a little bit here. Make her head look a little bit smaller. And also place her on the canvas a little bit more where I want her to be. So, various things like that. So yeah, if you want my opinion on what beginners should study, it's going to be how to see. And so that would be finding the angles that I mentioned, be able to see things in the direction that they're actually going, and see what things actually look like, as opposed to the more simplified symbols that your brain will probably want to tell you. And then the other one is composition. Just how to lay things out on the page, and what makes people feel things. That kind of thing. And then to an extent, yes, you gotta learn your basic proportions. Only to an extent. Okay. Oh wait, I have my foreground on. I can't pick colors like this. There we go. There's like a subtle layer of fog going over everything. And that will distort the colors I pick. So I gotta be careful. So let's see. Gotta respect the angles. What is straight down according to the tilt of her body here? Something like this. There we go. I just want to make sure that her dress is wrapping around her properly. But how far is it from her armpit anyway? Pretty far. So yeah. I do think it is down here. Also, if you want to make things look really, really cool, perspective is good, because that's when you can do cool things. Okay. Alright, I'm going to adjust the proportions just a bit here. Mostly on this side. Kind of feel like this one is turning the wrong direction still. I just want them both pointing the same direction, which is going to be something like up here. Just because we are seeing the bottom there. But there we go. I think that is looking pretty okay. Let's see, this one I think needs to come a little bit further to the side, but only a little. Only a little. Make a little bit more room for that one too. So I'm just kind of prodding at this with the liquify tool until I get it where I want. And this needs to be lower. Gotta respect that angle here. So you see, I can follow the shoulders and the collarbone to an extent in order to know where these things should live. This one's got to be a little bit lower. And this is kind of what I meant, but I wasn't wholly convinced that the proportions were entirely correct yet. But I had the basic gist. It looked so much better. And oh god, I am so happy that I finally solved the mystery. I really am. Yes. God. I was trying to do so many impossible things. And it was awful. But there we go, I got it. Just had to not give in to my impulse of saying, you know what, I think it's good enough. It was not good enough. Now I'm getting somewhere. I just want the top of this to be a little bit pointier here. And then at some point I'll put in like all the little decorations and stuff. But I want to make sure that everything is structurally correct. Strictly speaking, I probably shouldn't have rendered the face yet, but I like rendering the face, and I really, really like it when the character can finally stare back at me. It just makes me very, very happy, and makes me that much more determined to work on the picture and make everything really nice, so I do it. It is a slight inefficiency that makes the rest of my workflow a little bit more efficient, so I think it's worth it. I do. Okay. So I'm just gonna prod at this until I am satisfied. Shaving off little bits here and there until everything looks like it is the right size and in the right place. I'm just kind of sculpting it. But I think that looks about right to me. As always, now that I've kind of think I've got things where I want them to be, this is when I stop looking at it for a while. So what I think I'm actually going to do, now that all this is looking fine, is I think I'm going to start putting the decorations onto the arm bit here. And then after that, I'm going to rejigger the dress and make sure that all that's pointing the right way and that it's blowing in the wind the way that I want it to. I want to make it look like there's like power coming out of the magic circle, because that'll just be neat. I think that will just be wonderful. But let's go ahead and do something relatively straightforward first. Okay, so where are these little decorations on our arm thing? Let's see, if this is the palm here. On the inner side by her thumb, which on mine is over here, so I don't actually think we see it. So you know what? Maybe it doesn't need anything. Because yeah, it's on the inner part of her arm. Oh, okay. Oh, maybe I'm done then. Well, that was easy. Sweet. Okay, let me just double check. Make sure I didn't draw the hand backwards. And I'm using my own arm as a reference here, but, yeah, we don't see it. Okay. Well, there you go. I think I'm done then. I wish I could kind of see this from a slightly different angle to know if there's anything on the other side. But looking at her backside, I don't see anything there. I'm gonna check Google just to make sure. Just to make sure. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Cool. Okay, well, that was easy. So, that's already good. Is there anything, like, at the bottom here? I mean, I guess there's, like, a slight coloration there. This is a slightly different color. I don't see that on here, though, so I think that might just be a stylistic choice. Yeah, I guess that's just a little highlight. There's like a seam here. And so the artist just put a highlight on that. So... okay, do I want to go ahead and finish it then? I want to make sure that this arm is correctly placed here. Let me see. I actually kind of feel like that this arm here, just the whole dang thing, should be tilted a little bit more this way. So I might want to look away from here for a little bit too, just to really make sure that the pose and stuff is where I want it to be. But I do think that looks a little bit better. So I'll probably keep it like that. So I'm just going to make some careful adjustments here, and once I'm happy, I'll go look somewhere else for a little bit. And I'll come back to this. I'll reattach the sleeve and everything. And I do feel like that this part of her arm... well, okay, let me just get this back in shadow then. I had it like that last time when I was trying to fix some stuff. So let me just get this all shadowed up again. This side can stick out. Shoulder feels wide. To be fair, I did just increase the size of her body. Because there were certain other parts that felt disproportionately small. Let me bring the shoulder in a little bit again. I'll keep a little gap here. If I can. I'm not sure if I can. I can. Okay, cool. So I'm going to deliberately keep the frills sitting on top here. So these are here. So that this way it kind of pulls the arm forward and pushes her shoulder back. But by keeping a little bit of space between all this, it kind of looks like you could fit something between her arm and the rest here. So like you might be able to just plop your head right in here. So it just creates a little bit more of a feeling of space. Let's go ahead and make all that look nice now. But that's the idea there. And now I'm just trying to make sure that the shoulder is all shaped shoulder-like. We've got some muscles here. And this is where the anatomy knowledge is useful. My anatomy knowledge is mid. I cannot name all the bones and muscle groups and stuff or anything, but I know roughly where a lot of them are, and I think that's the important part. Okay. And then there's just one slightly problematic element here. And that is this hair. You can see that it is like sharing a line there, and that is what we call a tangent. This one's probably not that big a deal, but it still bothers me, so I either need to make that strand longer or shorter in order to break that tangent. And in this case, I think I want to make it a little shorter. But first, I'm going to get the length of her arm, the location of her armpit, and just all that stuff. Looking a little bit more correct here. Right now, her arm feels a little bit skinny to me. I'm not going to worry about the shading yet. I'm just trying to get the thickness right. And then kind of the point where it overlaps with her torso as well. Probably means I'm going to have to adjust her dress again, you know, such is life. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do there yet. I'll figure it out. It's all good. Okay. And then definitely want a little shadow in there. I guess it probably curves a little bit flatter than it otherwise would. I'll just leave it like that for now. That's fine. Okay. And then I want to do something similar on this shoulder over here. Just make it kind of curve a little bit more nicely. You don't want your ladies to be too blocky. You can get away with it with men. Men being blocky can actually be, like, nice to look at. But it doesn't work as well with the ladies. Okay. Let's get that sleeve back on there because it's kind of bothering me. Okay, and yeah, this bottom part of the arm does look a little bit long to me. So let's go ahead and kind of shave that off where I think it should be shaved. Let's see, which way is it turning? It's going the opposite direction of this, so it should turn this way. Okay. So I think that is a good length for the front part of her arm here. I'm going to take a look at what this actually looks like. Where does it kind of go in on her arm here? Probably like here. And then it comes back. We will get this angle right. Gotta respect those angles. Gotta. And let's see, we see a little bit of this side. I'm gonna go double check photo reference real quick. See if I can get a decent shot of an elbow here. Ah, perfect. Just thinking about how this should connect here. Give me just a moment. I need to analyze. I'm trying to find one from a similar angle. I've found a couple that are close enough to kind of give me an idea. I'm wondering, do I need this part of her arm to kind of come out here a little bit, actually? No. This is fine. I don't need to redraw a bunch of stuff. It's all good. It's all good. I kind of feel like the arm is at a little bit of an awkward angle, though. Like, it feels like there should be a little bit of space between here. Maybe I should try that kind of thing. Bring it out a little closer to what I had before, and then bring the arm over here and just put a little bit more space between her body and the arm. Okay, unfortunately I kind of have to dance between a few layers to do this, and that's always annoying, but it's fine. I can deal with it. The hand is important, so I'm trying to make sure that all the areas related to it kinda all check out. Like, I do feel like this hand is literally part of her facial expression. It being, like, literally on her face aside. I do think it has a lot of character. And I do think it's an important part of the face. So I do want to make sure that I get it right. I'll put a little bit more space between these. Her body can just be nice and skinny over there. So sometimes it takes me a little bit to feel this out. As much as I say that, proportions, maybe not that important. It is kind of what I need to work on next, personally. I do think that will speed up my process greatly. Okay, yeah, that looks better, I think. Okay, that must be part of the moon then. That's fine. It's all just going to be covered with dress. And then let's see, I think I could actually bring that sleeve maybe a little bit higher up. The main thing I feel like is that, let me hide the frills for a second there, is that when I look at this, it's angled on the top, but it's actually quite straight at the bottom. I think I'm just going to draw it again. So where does it wrap around her arm? So this is the elbow, so it's probably about halfway between. So it'll kind of curve around like this. Okay, and then I angle it. I'm just going to use my transform tools to do that. It's a bit easier. Okay, so it'll angle downward. And then we'll complete the triangle kind of like this. Because it is flat. Actually, no, this is going backwards. I did it again. For some reason, I just want the arm to bend that way. So yes, it wraps around the arm this way. Okay. Then it's flat on the bottom, and we complete the triangle like this. I'm going to make the top a little bit more slanted. Okay, and then I can make it frilly. In theory. Okay, let's try that again. I'm just trying not to make it too much longer or shorter here. There we go, something like that. That looks appropriately sized, maybe a little shorter through here. Okay. And I think it'll be easier to understand if I put some lights on it, so let's do that too. I think I'll just use ye old basic midtone for now. So we got the little band there, and then some kind of frilly parts. Okay, that's fine. Let's see, is there anything else I want to go poke at now? Or am I good to start rendering you and you? Okay, well. Right now, this arm doesn't feel connected. It's like if we follow the angle to its end, that goes over here. So definitely gotta fix that. I also want to fill in this hole before I forget. There we go. And then there's something sticking out there, and I'm not sure what that is. Oh no, that's just part of the dress. All is well. Okay. Okay, back over here. Let's get the angle of the arm. So it's gonna connect like right about there, so we'll send it on over. Okay, and I don't think her arm looks skinny anymore, so I think that's fine. Now I'm just trying to think, do I have it facing the right way? Like, does it go this way? Because it'll connect, like, in here. But to me, things look more wrapped around when I do it like this. So is this correct? It has to be, right? It can't be wrapping around the same direction as this, right? I have to think about this for a second. This is a basic foreshortening trick in that I can never remember the rule of that if you like wrap little circles around something, it kind of becomes a little bit easier to see which direction that it's going. But a lot of the time I get it backwards. I feel like that happens a lot with when I do things. I blame the dyslexia. But see, this looks correct to me. Let me hide her forearm for a second. Okay, I'm gonna make this look a little smoother here. It doesn't really matter, but I'm hopeful that drawing it a little bit more correctly will let me see how things are actually kind of connecting. And then at the end there, we see this. Yes. So this is where her elbow will connect, which, yes, would mean that it wraps this way. Okay, I'll take my word for it. So I might have had the sleeve right before. I'm gonna... Yeah, we still see this part. Okay. I am getting caught up in silly things. It's fine. I do it all the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and make that sleeve a little bit more correct again. So that would be if it was sitting flat. Let me draw the other end. So if it was sitting flat on her arm, I think that this looks right. It looks right to me, so I'm going to call it good. But it's actually at an angle, so you can see that there. So I want it to go ever so slightly downward. And get smaller as it goes over here. Okay. And now I can make it frilly. And I don't know, that looks more correct to me. So I'm gonna call that good. I'm gonna call that good. Let me invert the colors, this way I can actually kind of see what I'm doing. Okay. Me just getting lost on things that that probably don't actually matter that much. But it happens. I don't feel like the frill should be turning like that. Gotta try again. Okay. A little bit higher, I think. I'll just have to redraw the rest of the arm there, it's fine. Okay. I'm gonna be a little bit more deliberate. I want that to still follow the curve. And that's kind of what was bothering me before. I didn't feel like it was following the curve correctly. Okay, but I think that's fine. Let's go draw the rest of that arm. There we go. Okay, and I think her arms are looking a little bit better here. So, now that I've done a lot of just random things over there, I'll go ahead and add my light spots. And then I'm going to look away for a bit and work back over here. So I do think that in the next 3 things that I kind of have to do can be done in roughly any order, but it's arm, chest, necklace thing, and neck to a lesser extent. And then once I get those things, I can kind of get her chest and the upper part of her dress. And then I can go from there. I try to get the things further in front first, so that this way I know where they're sitting, and and once I know where they are, I know which parts of the areas underneath I don't have to render as thoroughly. So I just feel like it saves me a little bit of time. Okay, let's start getting the basics of this in here. I am going to invert the colors of the dress, so that this way I can see where this part lives. But I feel like I have the shape pretty good, so I'm just gonna zoom in and smooth out the edges, so that this way I can lock transparency on the layer. And I will be able to just color and shade without worrying about going outside the lines. So I just like to have a nice, solid foundation to work with. That is my personal taste. Okay. And the nice part about doing it this way is that even if I don't fully finish it, as long as I know where the outside is, I can also work on things underneath if I am so inclined. Right now, I'm not going to put the little spiny things on it. I probably will soon. I'm going to get some of just the basic rendering in first. I want to take another look at it, make sure everything is looking structurally correct. The structure is very, very important here, so... I mean, it's what's been tripping me up with this area for a long time now. So I want to double check it. I don't want to render this whole thing out and be like, huh. I have this in the wrong spot again, don't I? Well, shoot. That would just be too sad. This is the point where I just bring everything into perfection. Okay. I want to make sure that this part doesn't look like overly round, because that'll make her chest look bigger than it should. She doesn't have a super massive one, so I want to make sure that I get the sizing right here. So just gonna kind of gently shave and sculpt until I'm happy. I think this is looking pretty alright. The good news is I already have a lot of this shaded. Because I thought that I had it correct earlier, and I was wrong. Just make this part just a little bit straighter. Okay. How's that? Are we still looking good? Are you still sitting on there correctly? I do think that the shadow here isn't entirely right, so let's kinda get that in there a little bit more accurately. And then maybe there'll be a little bit of... Oh, I have a really big airbrush for some reason. Anyway, a little bit of shadow just maybe right here in between them. Just a little bit. Just kind of a subtle thing. I'm going to put the dress back and I'll take another look. Okay, how's this? How are we looking? I still feel like that side not quite right, so I'm gonna use Liquify to try to push this into place here. Like I said, when I was kinda getting it all smoothed out, I just want to make sure that this side is a little bit straighter on the side, and that it also respects the angle that her body's going at. So both of those aspects are important. So I will have to smooth out this side a little bit more. This side I think is looking pretty alright. Maybe I just want a little bit of shadow right there. Make sure that it all connects in the right spot. Kind of adjusting the location of the folds there. This way, hopefully they line up just a little bit better. Wasn't entirely satisfied with that. Okay. I think that lines up a little bit better. Okay, and I think I want to just grab this entire thing, pull it over, and then squish it so it's a little bit flatter on the side. I'm just trying to figure out where the top is. Because this feels a little close to the necklace. Let me actually back it up there. Okay, so... Again, angle of the body. Angle is this way. So if this is the center, I want to make sure that that center is curving around everything correctly. So I think this actually needs to be further out. It's okay. This is why I've been taking a step back and making sure that everything is where it needs to go, because sometimes it can be surprisingly difficult to tell. So let's see if I'm thinking about the direction that this is going. The center is going to be over here. We have this angle here. That's telling me where the top is. And then this angle here, that's going to tell me where the middle is. And I think I have the tops of both of them just a little bit too high. So I'm thinking about how I want to go about fixing that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the top part here and liquefy, no, not cage, liquefy with a very, very large brush. And what I'm comparing it to is the little brooch on her chest here. It kind of has little straps that goes out and connects to the top there. And I want to make sure that the distance that I have here matches. And due to the perspective, I think it makes sense to make these a little bit shorter than I currently am. And a little bit rounder. Okay, yeah, that looks a little bit better. Let's go ahead and fill in the holes here. Now this distance looks a little bit more correct to me. Center runs this way, kind of out and around. Actually, probably more this direction. Yeah, definitely more that direction. So center is going to be like that. So let's just get that shape in. Center for this one is going to be like this. So this side makes a little bit more sense. Still wanted to follow the shape of the body here, so there we go. Okay, how's that? The top part that's going away maybe looks a little bit small. And then this side I think is also going to be somewhat in shadow. So let's put a little bit of shadow over there too. Maybe more with this mid-tone. Okay. Now I can go back to getting that shape right. This is exactly why I tend to be particular about getting the shapes right before I try to smooth things out. Because then I move things around and, well, what do you know? Suddenly I have to smooth things out again. It is deeply unfortunate. Okay, this one's still not quite respecting the angle of the body here. I just need everything to come a little bit lower. Let me invert the colors on the dress, that this way I can really feel it. But you can see that if you look here, the angle is going this way. Whereas the angle of her shoulders, this way. So I need to get them both going that way. So that's what's missing right now. And I think that's going to require a little bit of adjustment on both sides. In order to get it just right. And then I'm just trying to get this to look a little bit less square. Like I said, you don't want your ladies to look too angular. It should be nice and round and smooth. They'll look better that way. Okay, that I'm gonna make it pointier, but I have to do it by drawing, not with liquify. So I'm gonna keep prodding with liquify until I'm ready, which is right about now. So again, I'm gonna double check my angles here. Get that shape good. I think the top should be a little bit further to the right here, so I'm going to adjust accordingly. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm still just kind of thinking about angles again. So body's going this way. And when you have something sticking out there, it's going to result in something, I'll break out the hot pink. But if you think of it as like a triangle, just sitting on there. So with this is one plane here that kind of goes across and over like this. That's the right way, right? Yeah. So this side might need to come over a little bit, but then we have another plane sitting here. It's gonna be like that, so that's gonna be the top. So again, this one might need to come out a little bit. And then the side is sitting over there, and in my case, the side is probably a little bit closer than what I've got here, but I drew it wrong. It's fine. I'll go adjust it. Whoop. So then I have a side part here. So this is kind of what I'm thinking in my head. Oh shoot, I drew that on the frill layer, didn't I? It's fine, I'll erase it. So this is kind of what I'm keeping in mind. I actually probably don't want those there because I did not draw those lines very straight. So it'll throw me off if I try to keep that. But in general, that is kind of what I'm thinking. So please be flatter here, but please come a little further out. Just be flat on the side. There we go. How does it connect on the side here? Yeah, so it gets at the top there and then like goes just straight down. So straight down is like this. Over here, straight down would be like this, I think. Body's going that way, right? Yes. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget which way the body's going. Very important stuff. And straight down. Up here, then straight down, and then the dress will connect over here and kind of come up. Do I have you locked right now? Kind of come up. And how high does it go up on her back, actually? I should check that. kind of below her shoulder blades, a little bit higher than the sleeve. So what I want this part to be doing is actually kind of going up into the sleeve. And that should look a little bit more accurate. Okay. So yeah, I think what was throwing me off is the way that this top part was connecting, because this part needs to come with, like, more straight down. And I was not doing that. So this is how it sits on her chest. And then the rest is just, I need to, again, respect the angle. I still haven't fixed that. I feel like the top is mostly correct, so I don't really just want to rotate the whole thing. That's why I'm prodding at it with liquefy until I'm happy. Because this seems fine. This needs a little bit of adjustment, but it's not hard adjustment. I just push this down a little. And make it rounder at the top. Kind of near the center there. I'll make you rounder at the top near the center as well. Bring this part down. Bring this part down. And then I can bring this part down. Bring this part down. Bring this part down. Straight down, all around. Okay, and then I do think I just kind of have to rotate it a little bit. Okay. Is it too small now? A little bit. Little bit too small. And this is pointed the wrong direction now. This is better, though. So straight down. A little bit lower. Yes? No. The joy of trying to do stuff. Okay. I'm going to start drawing in the little straps that I know have to go places. I'm going to draw them in hot pink initially. But I think it is time to start thinking about those details. I'm going to go ahead and just draw it on the frill layer because I think it'll be easier. Let me see, do they go on top or underneath? They kind of blend together, so it's fine. So the way that I think this is going to wrap around the chest is kind of like this. So yes, things are just a little off-center, and that's probably part of what's throwing me off. Wait. This side should be straighter. And they curve that way, yes? Yes. On mine, do they curve that way? I'm thinking about how they sit on the chest. If this was straight, how would I draw it? It would be like... If they were straight, I think it would be... something like that. So yes, I think I have this sitting there correctly. Okay. Let's see if I can just put that on then. And then I can adjust this part of her chest accordingly. Okay, I think I have them a little bit too far to the side, but that is better. So that might have just been half my problem there. But I do think that is about where this will sit. Center right about here. And this is why I look away and look at something else for a while whenever I think something is looking structurally correct. Because a lot of the time I am not always right. Okay, and... let's push these on there and see if it looks okay. I feel like this thing is a little bit off-center. That should help a little. Okay. Yeah, I think that helped. I think that helped a lot. Just gotta break down the structure just a little bit more. And from there, hopefully I can figure it out. I want this side to be rounder, up at the top there. Flatter on the other side. Or rather, it should be going the same way as the body. Let's get this going the same way as the body. Same direction. Liquify always does very funny things. Same direction. I'm going to invert the colors of the dress again, so this way I can see a little bit better. Okay, actually putting those lines on there did help. Little structural details like that can indeed help. This side needs to be flat. This side needs to be round. And then it kind of just leads into this rounder part here. And at this angle... At this angle, do we see the flat side? I have to think about that for a second. It's like she's not tilted that much. So, thinking about this as a square... I will get my hot pink again. So we have one plane here. One plane here. I'll draw them separately. Okay. Then I have the top part. It's going back. Yes. I think so. I guess I'll find out if I'm right in a second here. But this all seems okay. This is not following the tilt of the body, is it? Let's get it following the tilt of the body. Here. And that'll be perpendicular, because this is a square. Top. The top. The side. The side. And now, I try to get all this shaped right. Where is the middle? Probably somewhere up here. On this side, it's gonna be probably like here. Okay. Okay, and then straight down, which on this side is going to be a little bit more like this. And I think it's fine for it to kind of come around a little. Okay, and then this is going to be a side. Got to break it down a little. And then over here, I hit crop instead of brush. Comes down and around. But again, this side is straight. It is going... Okay, and that explains why I thought that this pink line was a little bit short, so let me put it a little bit closer to where I think it should go. Should have done that from the beginning, honestly. Okay. Okay. And this is over here now. Being round like this. And the shadow part should not actually touch. And then when I look at the angle of this, this goes back pretty sharply. So I want to make sure that I have something like that, where it goes back pretty sharply. Okay, and then same with over here. It's going to go back pretty sharply. I think the center is actually more like here and here, but it's fine. I had the general gist there. And it was enough to get me going, I think. So I'm actually going to hide my boxes now. Okay, this part goes straight down, which, according to the body, is like this. I'll run that line parallel. Sometimes I just feel like I have to do things that are a little bit counterintuitive to how I'd normally think about things, but I think that this is looking more correct. With maybe just this entire side needing to come just a little bit more over here. Okay, I think I'm getting somewhere again. So straight down and around. Straight down and around. Straight down and around. Then here, from about there, it just goes up and around. They look very small, but structurally a little bit more sound. Okay, then here, I want this to go a little bit more straight down, but just due to the angle that things are at, I think that this part is a little rounder. I will lower this a little so that this way they hopefully line up with those straps that I plan to put in later. Okay, and this should follow the shape of the body. Follow the overall shape of the body here. No, no, no. No, no. I do think that this is good. Just trying to feel out where it goes back. So that this way I know where the plane change is. Okay, that feels a little bit better. I do think that they need to be a little bit wider. What is this random piece of pixel dirt that must be somewhere up here, making things weirdly shaped? There we go. Now I feel like they're a little bit skewed, so let's try to kind of bring that back where it should be. Okay. Fix the bottom here. Oh, I have it locked? Yeah, I don't want it locked. Okay. Okay, all is well. I think it's all starting to slowly but surely come together. I don't want this to be right at the edge of her, I don't think. Let me see, where exactly are things coming down? Where are things all coming down? Okay. How's that? Let me stare at this for a second. Almost. It's very close. It just... this side is too round, but anytime I square it off and make it more flat, it always looks really weird, and I don't know how to fix that. So I might take a break from there for a second and go work on the arm again. This is the upside of having a few different places I can work on. So I'm gonna go look at my reference image over here. And it comes out over here and probably something like this. I just want to make the plane change on the side a little bit more clear, and I'm hoping that will let me make the kind of shape that I want here. That is the hope. And then unfortunately, you know, my character is lit from the bottom and this one is lit from the top. So I kind of have to invert the shadows in my head. But I'm kind of used to doing that, so I think it'll be okay. Do I have this going the wrong way? Should I point it this direction? Is that part of what's throwing me off too? Because when I look at the lady here... Yeah, I think that's actually right. Yeah, I was saying when I look at my reference here, I see this coming a little bit more this way. It's okay, this is the upside of references. So, what I'm trying to work out here is, this top part that connects up here. It is coming forward, and this bottom part that connects down there, it is going backwards. So I think I'm just emphasizing the bottom too much. I started doing it like that because I wasn't doing it enough at first. Okay. But yeah, when I think about it, this is the part coming towards us, this is the part coming away. So if on my triangle, this is the part coming towards us, this is the part going away. So I think that this might actually be a little bit more correct. I'm gonna go ahead and just make everything very angular for a second. In fact, I'm just gonna connect everything like this for now. This is incidentally not how this thing is structured, but I need to get the general structure of what I'm trying to draw here, so I'm just going to draw it in squares. And then once I have that, I can worry about everything else. I probably should have done this way sooner than I currently am. And no, this goes this way. They kind of both go outward. So I'm like, oh no, how do you draw? So as much as I did solve the mystery, it is still not perfect. Okay, and then there's like the shadow part on the side there. Let me just read how this connects into the rest of her body here, so I'll draw the dress back on top later. So I'm looking at kind of this part here. And to be fair, I think Runie's chest is a little bit bigger than this lady's chest, so I'm going to keep that in mind. So let's see, on this lady, where... This would be where the choker is, and then we get this part probably like right about here. Top of the cup probably here and here, if I was to draw the same things on her. A little bit lower here, I think. Because when I look at this, this does not align with the top of the dress here. It is lower, and I do think that I have the silver part maybe slightly big, but only slightly. But that slight little bit might be enough to make it the right size, so let's get it properly sized here. And do I have the whole thing a little bit large? I'd say this gem is a little bit bigger than this, but not much. A little bit bigger than the choker, but not much. And then I'd say that this is roughly the same size as the entire necklace here. Let me measure it out with my brush and make sure that I am seeing it correctly. So just at the base there. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger. So I think I have this sized pretty okay. And then when I compare this, just the silver part to the rest, it is pretty much the same size. I think mine's a little bit smaller, but I think that's okay. So I think that is all correct and where it's supposed to be, which would mean that this needs to come down just a little. So this is going to define where the top of the dress starts. And there's actually a little bit of distance there, so... And due to the angle, I do think it makes sense for this distance to be compressed a little bit. So I think that will end up being a little bit closer in mine than it would be elsewhere. Okay, let's get this thing in. So probably something like this. I think I might have the angle of this thing off just a little, but this is close enough for now. Okay. So I'm going to look closely at the reference here. And I think part of what's throwing me off is this fold here. When I look at the chest part here, this part does not go out. It does not follow her arm. It just kind of curves around and then comes back, which makes sense. But this part does kind of come out. Which also makes sense. I'm going to get rid of this part here, so... You have the top part. It's going to probably start at roughly the armpit here and come down. So I want this to kind of follow this line here. So a little bit more like that. And then I see the bottom very, very sharply turn. And to be fair, I think I'm placing the viewer slightly more underneath. So I don't think it'll be quite that sharp, but still, I'll make it a little sharper. Okay. So now I'll square off the rest of this. And I will put a mid-tone connect to the back here. Okay. I have broken this down about as much as I can. And I think it looks small. Like, my character's body is tilted just a little bit more. Let me try to bring this up just a little, and this down just a little. But I just have to remember that this is very much receding into the background. Just because she's leaning, her hips are literally behind her. And I don't want to give up on this part until I have something that I'm happy with. And then I can go happily render something else just to make sure that I still like it, 5 minutes from now. Armpit to here, a little bit more like this. But this looks like it's sitting on her chest. So let's see if I can get the shape right. I'm going to duplicate this layer because I'm scared. And I'll work on a copy just to make sure that all is well, and I can revert back to that if I get scared. So we'll go down. Something like this. And it goes a little bit further because it does connect on the bottom half. Okay. And then I'm going to round out the area here. Okay. Then over here, round. And here should be straight, following the body. This part gets a little bit cut off. Like, if I'm going to try to keep the shape, I'll draw the rest of it here. Okay. And then around. They still look a little bit small to me. So let's try to bring a little bit more around here. I guess I'll go ahead and crop the image here because I apparently drew over there and I don't feel like, what happened there? Okay, that's just a visual glitch. Let me just bring it back then. Okay. So I'll make it just a little bit bigger. There. Okay, that's looking all right. Just push this back into place here. Sometimes it is a little bit hard not to get frustrated, but this is one of those I just don't feel like I should be having as much trouble with things like this as I do. But oh boy, do I still have trouble with things like this. And it is annoying. Okay, so we go straight down here. This should be sitting flat. This part still goes around. This part should be sitting flat. This part goes around. I think that's fine. I'm gonna round this out. And now, which way do I want this to turn? Do I want this to go up? Like this? I'll stare at that for a second. Or do I want it to go down? Like this? Up. Definitely. I think this does sell the idea that we're seeing her from a little bit underneath, a little bit better. Okay. Now I just have to figure out what to do about the side. This looks okay. This looks okay. What do I do here? This is where the rest of her dress connects. So from about here, up into the sleeve. Okay. And then if I invert the colors on this again, what I would want to do is take this and connect it like this. Put the fold in. Yes? Perhaps. But at the very least, I think I can be satisfied for now. Although it does still look a little bit small, doesn't it? I think I just have this part of her body drawn too small, but that's fine. So all I gotta do to fix that proportional issue is just pull this way. Ignore the shadow that I currently have in there. We're just going to ignore it. It does not exist. It cannot tell me what to do. I'm just going to kind of adjust that part out there, and then over here, I just pull this out. And that is probably why everything felt so small through there. Look, it's the truth. It can't tell me what to do. It's my art. I make the rules. I get to decide what is real and what is not. Okay, and then this is just a shadow from the arm. It is not the armpit. The armpit is like underneath. It's like over here somewhere. Yeah. So this is just from arm overlapping. And over here, we just bring this out here. Okay. Probably why I felt like her arm was really close to her, too. Why I was thinking about moving it further out. Okay. But still, I feel like I'm getting somewhere. This... Come a little bit further in. Over here. This way, this way, this way, this way. Be rounder. Okay, that's looking a little better. I still don't feel like I can get away and go work on something else yet. Continue to just bathe this area in light. Figure out what the heck is going on the side here. I still don't quite understand, and I should. I absolutely should. So let's understand. Let's ask this picture how it's feeling. What's going on here? Figure out exactly what it wants. Okay, I have the layer locked for now. And that's probably a good thing. So I'm still just using the airbrush here to keep everything nice and easy to manage. Okay, so something like that maybe. This means I do have to adjust some of the pleats here, but I kind of expected that. It's fine. So this is going to be like the front side of one. So probably like this guy. And this also means that this part is more like right here. Like this is part of the front. So I should probably be... I want to get the frills too. So this guy probably actually more lives like this. It's okay, things are gonna look weird for a second. Okay, and then... So this is still part of the front, this is as well, so this is gonna come out like that. And then this back part that kind of sticks out. Man, I'm just gonna have to, like, cut this apart. Let's do it. I don't need to differentiate between the front and the back strongly yet. They're gonna kind of mix together, but I will do it just for my own reference. I'm just gonna use a bright color again. So we'll bring out the cyan. And it's gonna... So this poofy part is gonna kind of do its own thing and not actually connect to this front part. I guess I'll actually just put it below the entire body here. Okay. So this is gonna wrap back this way and then kinda come up, so we might not see that part. But I do think we see a little bit. So something a little bit more like that. Oh, the joy of figuring out that everything you've done is not quite right. Okay. So the center of this is... This goes here. It's right there. So it's going to be like that. And then her hips are going to push this side over here. We're going to get lots of bending. And then there's actually one more thing I want to draw here, and that's these little frills sitting on her waist. I think that they will also help me, so I will do them in a bright yellow. Where's her waist? This is the bust. This is a little further down. So let's see, the way that this dress actually works is... It hugs fairly tightly all the way down to her waist. Where is the waist? It's okay, I've accepted that I just kind of have to redraw the whole thing, it's fine. Waist. Kind of tilted here. Her... Let me break out the hot pink again. I'll do it up here. I'm gonna keep that... Oh, okay. Yeah. I was gonna say I'm gonna keep that yellow, but too late. Okay. So we have this square. It's like this. So this is where this goes. And then we got her tummy somewhere in here. And then we got a waist kind of sticking down here. Or this is... I'm gonna draw that again. Center of the box. Bottom of the box. Top of the box. It goes back. There's like a slight twist to it, so it's bigger on this side than it is on this side. Which will probably also be true over here, to an extent. Slight twist. Connects over here. We see the side of her. I have this one going a little bit too far over. The side of her is kind of over here. Okay. So then her tummy's going to be sitting here, and her hips will connect over there. And they are going to be straighter. Do we see the top or the bottom of them? I think we're seeing them fairly head-on. So it'll kind of sit over here. And then you got legs coming out over here. So I think that this is kind of what's going on underneath it. I am actually pretty sure I have the legs in the wrong spot then. I'll go ahead and bring them over there. Okay. So if that's how that's going... Okay. Now I can kind of see where her waist is. So her waist is going to be kind of over here, but in the back. And that is the part that is kind of confusing. So this will kind of wrap around like this. We'll get the frills in here. Doing something like this. And I don't mind if it's a little poorly drawn for now. So, okay. There's the waist, more or less. Let's let these poof out a little. Okay. So now let's start reconstructing the dress here. I'm gonna just completely get rid of the edges. I'm gonna hide the frill layer too, actually. I'm gonna do better than that. I'm gonna delete the frill layer. Okay. And from there, I kind of want things to fan out a bit more, so if this is going to be the waist here, I'll take the dark color for now. I kind of want her dress coming out and being poofy. So this is my opportunity to try to do some of the things that I was doing earlier better. As much of a shame as it is to have to draw everything again, it's fine. It'll be better in the long run. So all is well. Okay, so I already know that I want a pleat coming out this way. So this will probably be a big one, and I can put some light here. I can't see, so I'm gonna hide the waist frills for now. Okay, and I think it kind of disappears behind her there. Let's go hide another one of my guidelines there. And I'll put the waist frills on. Okay. And so now the part to the waist frills. It's a bit tighter. I think I'll still do it all on the same layer. I don't think I need a bunch of different ones. So we'll get the side in here. We'll get her side in there. That goes here. And then like straight down. So this comes in. And then it comes down. And this is tight. Okay. And then over here it's the same. It goes in and then it comes down. And it is tight. This time I want it to follow her waist. Okay, and then we get the side. It's going to come up and into her arm. No. This part is angled. This part is straight. This part is angled. So I might need to put her shoulder under the hand, unfortunately. This part is straight. This part is straight. Okay. And then from there, we have the waist rails, which I need to redraw already, but that's okay. They're going to be sitting over here, wrap it around. And they're going to go out. And they're going to be frilly. Do neat frill things. It'll be great. I just want to make it a little bit more clear that it wraps around so it continues behind her. So there's needs to be like a frill here too. Probably another one going over there. Okay, and then on this side. Wraps around behind. So a little frill kind of doing something like that. Okay. So now next thing to figure out is exactly where these little ties are going to go. So this part should be pretty straight down. Pretty straight down. And like I said, things are going to look weird for a second because I'm doing major reconstruction. It's fine. It always is. Waist goes way more straight down. Okay. And I can fan out all I want around here. I think that will look fantastic once I actually get all of this drawn. Okay. Currently, it doesn't really look like her stomach is going back. So I should adjust that accordingly. And that's because while her hips are straight down, that's right, her waist is not. So let's send this to the back. That's why I kept wanting to draw it at an angle. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. And then there's going to be like a little pinch in here. Probably a lot of pinches. Okay, let's get the inner part here. How exactly does this dress work? What is this? Is this an apron or... Because this looks like some stuff inside. I guess it probably fans out like everything else, but I mean, it doesn't look like it does here. Art is hard. I'm just gonna say that it does. So it goes all the way around to fans out more in the back. Okay. I can understand it, hopefully. We'll see. Okay, so I'll just do it like this. This is fine. Okay. I think I still need to make like this whole thing just a little bit bigger. Except for these parts. These parts are good. And I'll just have to fix the chest area more, but that's kind of a given at this point, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, where does this belong? Maybe somewhere like right there. And then my other frill layer, the purple frill layer, needs to die because I'm just gonna have to redraw that from scratch, I think. Let me get some basic shade in here so this way I can kind of understand what's happening. So there's gonna be like the big area, and then there's like these tiny little pleats. Oh, they look like tiny little pleats to me. Is it just wavy at the bottom? Actually, legit might just be wavy at the bottom. What the hell is even going on here? Well, okay. I'll do my best. Okay. Body feels a little bit more proportionate, dress feels a little bit more dynamic. I am happy. I probably don't sound very happy, but to be fair, I just had to, like, redraw half of the body here, and I'm still internally screaming, but don't worry, it's a happy scream. Okay, so this is where I have to figure out how does that work. I don't understand. Art is hard. Okay. It's alright, I'll figure it out. And on the bright side, her arm no longer feels super close to her. So that tells me that I was indeed drawing it correctly. It was just everything else that I'm drawing wrong. Yep. Indeed. That's what I say. I'm not concerned. I wouldn't even say I'm annoyed. But, it's fine. All is well. I'll figure it out. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of finagling, but it's resulting in a better picture. I mean, this already looks so much better than what I had before that I'm just like, okay, I did the right thing. I got this. Okay, so on the tight part of the dress here, there is going to be a little pinch here. Little pinch of cloth. So I'll put a little shadow over here. I think that makes sense. Okay. So I'm just gonna do all of these together for now. I already have this going out here, and I think that looks pretty good, so I'm gonna embrace that. There's gonna be another little pinch here, I think, and then this is just gonna fly off into space. And then we'll get my back part that I'm currently doing in the bright cyan. Going out and doing something like this. Just flying out behind her, I think. I knew something had to go back there. Okay. Let's get this flying. This gonna fly real good. Okay, and I want the inner dress to be fluttering a bit more too. I don't know, do I want to do something like that, or do I let it go all the way to the bottom? Let's try it. Let's see what happens. I think it looks better like this. Movement a little bit stronger, I think. Okay, this does mean I have to care about where I put the legs. So in my structure sketch, I put them there. I'm just going to redraw the legs for now. They will be bright because they are right in the light here. So I have her doing something like this. So we'll have a leg here. I should draw the back leg first. I'll use this color for now. So that leg, we got one leg going out like this. This leg is going to come kind of like this. I don't know if that's right, but let's see what it looks like. Yeah, should be fine. Maybe I'll just make the angle of this leg back here not quite as strong. Alright, she's got legs. Important to have. Let's see, I think I'm gonna make this part still a little bit more fluttery. Gonna do some quick and dirty shading there. Okay. Okay. Let's make this flutter more too. So I think it's something like this. With, let's see, we got a big light part here, big dark part here, big light part here that goes behind this big dark part here. And then big light part here. That is also kind of behind this big dark part here. So this part is kind of behind her. Okay. Now then, fluttering on this side. So we got this big one. Then we got big one over here doing... I need this to fly. And will have a big light part here. I'll have a big dark part over here. Okay. And then we got... this part looks pretty okay. I'll just put the light part in here. And then we'll let it fly up like this. And then there'll be another big one in the back. But I think that's kind of getting into the cyan territory. So I'll worry about that a little bit later. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by if you're not able to make it back. But I will still be here for a little while longer. I do feel like I see a little bit more of her side here. Okay, so now I just gotta get this going behind her, which I do not think is happening yet. Ooh boy. How am I gonna do that? Let me see, do I... Even fluttering, this feels very... meh. Dude, I mean, look at the shape of that dress. It needs raw chaos. This is not enough. Let's draw a raw chaos line. Okay. So basically what I think needs to happen is, so we got this thing going around her, yeah. That's kind of what it's doing. It's going around. But it's supposed to be, like, fluttering. Like, this is very loose. There's lots that it can do. I like this part coming out like this. This is great. But then it needs to, like... I don't know, just... do all sorts of just more interesting things. Okay, I'm gonna go look up a reference. I need... big dress flutter. Okay. Okay, what exactly should it do here? This is... it's like there are options. I just don't feel like it's particularly strong enough now. It's still very confined. Okay. So the line's not helping me. Still just feels very tame, and I don't like it. Let's just get some big, very, very big movement here. No, I don't like this either. So basically what I think should be happening, that is currently not, is... how to say... I got like some individual flutter going here. And that's great. So I feel like the pleats are fluttering individually, but I don't feel like the whole dress has the flutter feeling yet. I want to feel the power from the magic circle, and I just don't right now, and it's upsetting. It's upsetting me. It's not that long. I want to feel this dress struggling against the parts that are holding it in place. gotta feel it. And I don't. And it's sad. Looks like a banana. And it's sad. Please, be less banana-like. So this is where things get dangerous. I have a vision. And once I have a vision, I don't like to give up on it. Often it looks pretty good once I finish it, but man, sometimes it can take a hot minute to get there. No, I don't want it to twist that way. I want to twist this way. That's closer. I don't know. Do I want this one to just flail out this way? Probably, actually. Because when I think about it, it's like I want the magic circle to feel powerful. And so that means that she's in the middle of it. So everything should be kind of flying away from her. So I think that this kind of line for that makes sense. And then maybe just add a little bit more, I don't know, oomph in the rest. A little bit more wiggle. Wiggling is powerful, right? Wiggling is powerful. Yeah, I like this. Okay, that looks a little better. And then this part in the back. I think I still have all my dress colors and the swatch up here. I hope I do. It would be a little bit sad to lose them, but yeah, there they are. This part I'm just going to put entirely in shadow. And I will let it be very chaotic. I don't know. I actually think it looks pretty good as it is. Okay. Okay. No, I think I got things. So I'm gonna go ahead and start erasing certain things. Just get rid of the parts of the body that I don't think should be seen. And I will put a little bit more on this back part here. Okay, and then she'll get her arm going back here. I'm not sure if I like that. We're gonna make her bald for a second, so this way I can see what's behind her hair real quick. So I don't know, should I just make this arm a little bit more like this. Let it kind of come out a little and then go back. Leave a little gap. Make it a little bit more clear what's happening. I might actually do that. Yeah, I think even that much actually helps a lot. I don't particularly feel like it's going back enough, but let's see if I can fix that. I think even just the tiniest of gaps there will make it a little bit more clear of what's happening with this pose. Okay, I'll leave it like that for now. And, let's go ahead and get the rest of the dress here. Get a little bit more overlap in there. Yeah, so something like this. Whip it around. Do some things. Okay, let's see what I can do with this. So that means we'd have a light like right here. And one like right here. And I think that's probably good. I think it looks a little bit more fluttery now. Okay. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll see how I feel about all that next time, I think, but I do want to try to figure out how her chest connects to her. I am determined to figure that out today. I do not want that to be staring me in the face next time. It has been driving me absolutely bonkers, and I hate it, so... That is definitely what I want to figure out for today. I want to get this part right. I mean, I just redrew like half the picture because I couldn't freaking figure it out. How far up her body does this go up? It follows like the edge of the boob. There's like a rhythm there. Okay. So it's kind of... Let's get some more body in there. Okay. Okay. I mean, I do kind of feel like all of this should be kind of turning this way, but I don't quite understand how the cup sits on her. I'm gonna go do the other side. The other side is easier to understand. Maybe it'll give me some inspiration. I hope. Man, this is gonna look so great when it's done. That's why I really want to get all these things right. Because I really, really like the idea, and I think everything is turning out super fantastic. And I really want to get there, and it's taking a long time, and I am getting impatient. I gotta stop that. Gotta stop getting impatient. Okay, I think I'm getting it. Think I'm getting it. Maybe, perhaps. I'm trying my best. I swear, I'm probably a good 2/3 of my drawings. There's always just one spot that ends up being way harder than I expect. Okay, and then... do I want to do the side of her dress here? You know what? Let's do it. The part that just kind of connects into the back. I think that part is actually lit. So I'll do that on this layer, and then I'll make sure that all of the body is filled in. Fill in the gaps there. Okay. Let's just shape it like this. I'm pretty sure that's not exactly accurate, but you know what? I think it looks okay, so I'm gonna roll with it. I told myself that today, since I solved the mystery of why I could not get the chest looking right no matter how hard I tried last time, that I was gonna finish that area today. Or at least get it structurally correct. I ended up going down a little bit of a rabbit hole I didn't expect, but, you know, I think it's okay. Okay, so she's not at an angle quite that strong, so I'm gonna make this a little straighter. And this is going to be a little bit straighter. But I think that this idea is correct. Okay, where's like my mid-tone? That's you, right? Okay, so let's see if I can get this shaped right. So kind of have the round bit coming through here. This is her side. I'm gonna make this come up her side just a little bit more here. Just a little. It doesn't go into her armpit, so I don't want to send it too high. And let me see, what angle should you follow? Yeah, the angle of the body, right? So that would be like this. Little steeper. Okay, I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting somewhere here. Little steeper. Let's see. No, the body's going that way, right? Yes. Okay, I have it. I got it backwards again. Why do I keep doing that? Such things are going to drive me crazy, I swear. Okay, so we have this coming here. And then this kind of receding into the back. So... let's try that again. Body. Goes down like this. So this is before it starts receding into the back. Just right here. And then it goes back. So I want to make sure that this is respecting the angle of the body here. So just like this. I'll draw this in the light because this is before everything goes back. Okay. Body's going this way. Get mid-tone. Then draw the rest of the box. Just draw the rest of the box. Okay, and now we can make it a little bit less boxy. Okay. Phew. I do think that this tiny little gap between this and the side is correct. Around here. No, I should definitely not be drawing that in that layer. Okay, we're good. Okay. And now I make everything look round. Get that roundness in there. Where it's kind of going back. Okay. How are we looking? Do I have it? I don't think so. The side still doesn't look right to me, like just here. And that is the current problem that I am having. How does that side work? How does it work? Okay, so what I know is, and that's why I tried to put the shadow like this, is we see the side of the chest here, I'm going to invert the dress again, just to kind of work out some of this. So to an extent, I think this kind of shape is correct. I don't think I have it in quite the right place. This is like the one thing I want to figure out today. I do have a reference that I'm using off screen here that kind of helped me out. Trying to follow some of the curves that they were using. But for some reason, I just cannot wrap my head around how this works, and I don't know why. Art is hard. Basically what it amounts to. I feel like I should be able to, and that it should not be this hard. But it is. It is. It is. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm mad, but I am exasperated. That much is definitely true. Okay. And then here. I don't know, I was just doing it like this fine. I guess so, but I still feel like part of this is going to be lit. Like, I think the light source hits it. Is that true? If I put a dark part here and a little fold, would that look better? No, I don't think so. If anything, it should go more like this. At some point, I still need to get this part to kind of go backwards. How would that work? So, if I have the torso here, then I have, like, stuff from here. I'll draw it up here. Stuff from here just going, like, directly behind her. It's, like, just like, this. So, I do think we see where it connects. Okay, yeah. I know what to do. I take this. And we flatten it. Just flatten it all up. It's gonna be real awkward looking. Because this is her hips. This isn't her waist. This is like where her hips start. And that's kind of what I'm struggling with on the perspective there. So I open it up real wide. And then I think what will help is adding these thingers. So I think they're like the glove color. So I'll use that and let's see. So I got the one kind of across here. And then they're gonna like go back and forth real close. They're like gonna be on top of each other. And it's going to be a little bit hard to see, but something like that. And then properly capture the waist. This is going to be an interesting shape, because when something goes further away from you, the edges kind of get closer together, but in this case, it's actually physically getting wider further back, so I kind of gotta watch what I'm doing. So I think it just is more straight, and... how do I express that? Oh, that's gonna be hard. Ah, the joy of picking hard poses. Let's see here. Where do I want it to casually connect to? That'll help me. Got tummy here. It's gonna connect to something kinda... This is the waist, so it's gonna kinda connect up back there. Okay. And this is going to be a little awkward shaped, but I think it'll look good. Okay. And then I still got these kind of going back. I don't think this looks, you know, entirely right yet, but I think it is illustrating the first steps of what I'm trying to do. Okay, and then if I turn this into squares again, that's straps, this part kind of comes back here. And then stops. And then we'll see a few of these waist frills kind of going around like this. Okay. Okay, I don't think that they're quite sitting on the waist yet, so let's get those little tiny frills on there. I think the waist is just a little further down. Okay, but that seems all right. Okay, now I can get back to thinking about the top part. So I think this will help because I think that the top part needs to overlap this just a little bit. And once again, I want to use my mid-tone. And I think it just does this. It is going to be behind everything. Angle of the body is like that. And I do think that more of this should be showing here. This is like just her entire side. tried to come up here. Okay, but that seems all right. Okay. Let me flip the canvas and see what I got here. And then there will be some folds. How will those folds work? Kind of just want my mid-tone, I think. There will just be some folds joining together here. I guess the folds don't actually show really on her very much, but I do think that they should exist. Well, everything is just being pulled so dang hard just by everything going on here. I think that looks pretty convincing. I'll see how I feel about it next time, but I think that looks pretty okay. I'm not quite happy with how it's receding into the back, though, so... Let's see. Let's just push those folds back. Okay, and this should still all be well lit. They're going into the back now. Okay, and then these guys going into the back. And then the frill. Let me make those a little bit more frill-like. And then this way they start getting a little bit more behind, so it'll be a little bit more like this. And then on this side, I kind of do the same thing. Or some of them just kind of overlap really strongly. And that's her waist. Or, yeah, her hips. Maybe a little further away, but the idea is correct. Yes, that idea is definitely correct. Okay, and then on this side, also a little further away. Okay. I actually think this part is just going to be in shadow. Okay, let me get rid of my reference layer here. How's it looking? Does it look like it is going into the back yet? Does it? It's definitely closer. is her side? Side is gonna be like here. And then eventually it'll kind of come back down right around here. So I think there's like hips or something going on over there. It's kind of the same over here. Let me put a couple of frills over here. Get those drawn there, and I think it's mostly doing what I want now. I think I could afford to let it come down just a little, and not be quite so extreme. So this way it doesn't look like she's gonna fall over at any given moment. Also, it's easier to draw. Okay. Side. Right here-ish. Okay. There, ended there. A little bit rambly, but I think I accomplished what I wanted. I think that it looks like her hips are going behind her now. We'll see how I feel about it tomorrow, but I might need to deconstruct some of this further. And at the very least, I think that looks okay. So that makes me happy. But yeah, I might need to deconstruct some of this a little bit further. Just to really push it all back. But I don't think I'm in a state where I can do that. I'm also almost out of time anyway. So, that's the kind of thing that takes a lot out of me. Oh man, my brain is in pain. The lighting makes no sense anymore, but that's fine. It looks good on the face, and that's what matters. Alright. So that was an adventure. I still think I've got a little bit more to do. Which is always a little bit sad to say, but it is the truth. And I think these need to be a little higher. Okay. But I do think I'm considerably closer, and the things that I did change, I think look a lot better. So that's always very nice. Someday I will get into this background. Someday. I believe. I just picked a very silly pose. I keep doing it. I like very silly poses. They make me happy. Thank you very much. Alright, I do think that I will stop there for today, so thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.